Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping right into a massive shift happening in the world of finance and technology. Seriously, the stakes are getting higher and the competition is becoming absolutely ferocious.
You know, someone captured the mood in fintech perfectly with this quote. It really does feel like a high-stakes corporate drama right now. And honestly, they're not wrong. We are literally watching a fundamental change happen in real time. The market is consolidating, which means the weaker players are getting squeezed out, and it's all happening incredibly fast. You can forget that old growth at all costs era. This is all about survival and, well, dominance. Okay, let's get into our first story. This one is all about an incredibly aggressive first-mover play by a crypto giant that is absolutely not waiting for anyone's permission to go build the future. So just the other day, Coinbase launched a stablecoin. Now, if you're not familiar, that's a crypto that's pegged one-to-one with a real-world asset, in this case, the British pound. This means users in the UK can now move their own currency on-chain, which is just a fancy way of saying directly on the blockchain. They're basically building the financial plumbing of the future right under everybody's noses. And you can really see just how confident they are in their strategy right here. They are calling this the iPhone moment for stablecoins. They're signaling that they believe the tech is finally ready for everybody to use. And at the same time, they're launching huge new lending products and just planting their flag years before the UK's formal regulations are even finalized.
And the scale here, it's just staggering. I mean, we are not talking about some niche little product anymore. The total market cap, that's the total value of all stablecoins out there, has already ballooned to over $300 billion. But wait, that $300 billion number? It doesn't even tell the whole story. Just look at the volume of transactions. In just 1 year, over $30 trillion were settled using stablecoins. That is an absolutely astronomical figure that no one in the world of finance can afford to ignore anymore.
So what does this all come down to? It's this. For the leadership at Coinbase, this isn't just another product line. They truly see stablecoins as a fundamental evolution of money itself. And they are betting their entire empire on that belief. All right, let's shift gears to our second story. Let's see how the old guard, the legacy players, are being forced to react to this new reality. And let me tell you, it is a real high-wire act. So the payments giant Western Union just reported its quarterly earnings and... yikes! The big number was a painful 39% miss on their earnings per share. This is the kind of result that immediately sets off alarm bells all over Wall Street. And this slide right here perfectly illustrates the tough spot they're in. On one side, you have all the pain, shrinking profit margins, currency losses, high costs. But on the other side, you have their big plan for the future. And what does it center on? You guessed it, a stablecoin. Now, to really understand the scale of their bet, you have to know what SWIFT is. It's the decades-old global messaging network that's basically the backbone for almost all international bank transfers. And Western Union's plan is to use its own stablecoin to replace its reliance on it. This isn't just some small pivot. It's a bet-the-company kind of move. Now for our third story. Let's pull the lens back and look at the cold, hard data. This is the battlefield report that shows what's really happening across the entire fintech landscape. So a recent report from CB Insights shows that the number of investment deals in fintech has dropped to a multi-year low. Now, at first glance, you might look at this and think the whole industry is slowing down, or maybe even in trouble. But that is not the whole story. Not even close. Because while the number of deals is down, the money that is being spent is going into much bigger, much more concentrated bets on the companies that look like clear winners. We're seeing huge, multi-billion-dollar acquisitions. Capital One buying Brex for over $5 billion is a perfect example. This shows us that while fewer bets are being placed, the conviction behind them is massive. The market isn't dying, it's just getting way more ruthless. And this concentration of capital has a really clear effect. As you can see right here, digital asset companies are now valued at nearly double the rate per employee compared to your average fintech firm. The money is flowing to a very, very specific part of the market. So how do these three different stories, the aggressive empire builder, the desperate survivor, and the ruthless battlefield report, how do they all connect to paint one single coherent picture? Well, it unfolds in three pretty clear steps. First, you have a new technology like stablecoins that acts as a catalyst.
Second, this forces legacy players like Western Union to react. They either have to adopt the tech or they risk becoming obsolete. And third, the result is that all the capital flows to the strongest, most innovative players, which squeezes out the middle and consolidates the entire market.
So the key thing to take away from all of this is that what we're witnessing isn't a slowdown or a bust. It is a fundamental reshaping of the entire industry. It's a great consolidation around a new technological core. The weak are being weeded out, and the strong are getting much, much stronger. And all of this leaves us with one final provocative question. In this high-stakes game of fintech succession, where only a few giants can ultimately win, who are you betting on to be left standing at the end?